Yeah, so as you can see, it's raining very badly. Won't be able to go fishing for probably a couple days because it's supposed to rain for a few days in a row. And so I decided I was going to do a video on the best shad spawn lures. And I got 5 lures for lakes that have small shad, and then I got 5 lures for lakes that have big shad in them, and then I got 2 lures right here in the middle that you can basically change it between a big shad uh, profile to a small shad profile. First, I'm going to start with the small shad profile because I think that a lot more lakes have smaller shad. And first, I'm going to start with the topwater. The topwater bait that I would use in small shad lakes is one of these, a little hidden Zura puppy. It's basically a small version of a Zura spook, and it's a very small bait. It's a lot smaller than any other bait that I own, um, any other topwater walking bait that I own, I should say. Um, it's really good for small shad lakes or clear lakes. I got it in the chartreuse shad color, and it's a silent. So I like silent uh, top waters for clear lakes, and there's a very good bait for clear water, like I said. Next is a little jig head with a swim bait. This is a smoky shad swim bait. Now you can also change it to a white white ice, pearl white ice, or whatever it's called. Let's just say. You can also change it to a white ice swimming flute junior. They're both basically the same size, and you can change it to this or to the grayish color. It just depends on what you want to, what color your water is, or what color the bass are going to eat. You know that they always seems like they always eat a different color. Sometimes they want to eat the gray. Sometimes they want to eat the white. You just have to adapt to the conditions and where and what the fish are wanting. So for the soft plastic jerk bait, I don't usually fish a lot of soft plastic jerk baits, but if I do, I'll pick one of these two that I got here is the two that I'll go to. This here is a Lucky Strike, I believe it is, smoky shad jerkbait. I don't know if you guys have ever seen them at Walmart, but they have these packs of lures down on the bottom shelf is where they're at my Walmart. But they got like this little tackle box. They're tackle boxes like these, no, without those lures. But they have a bunch of soft plastics. It's got like 128 bass lures and stuff in it, and that's where I got this soft plastic jerkbait. I haven't caught nothing on it yet because I don't fish them a lot, but I would fish these with either a 1 or a 2/0 EWG hook. Uh, this here is a Gamakatsu. Next is the square bill. This here is a cotton cordell white square bill. It's got the 2 spots on the top of it, and it makes really good rattling. It has really good rattles on it, and this square bill here, I actually bought at Walmart. They had these boxes down on the bottom shelf that are like $1.96 for every lure inside the box. Whatever lure is in there, they're $1.96. That's where I got these, and that's also where I got this rattle trap that you'll see here in a little bit. Next, for my final small shad lure, is this Strike King Mini King spinnerbait. I like fishing spinnerbaits a lot more now that I know how to fish them better. Um, I used to not like fishing spinnerbaits, but now that I know how to fish them, where to fish them a lot better, I do like using them. Most of the time I'll have a small swim bait trailer on here, but if you're going to imitate a smaller shad, I wouldn't use a trailer at all. I'd actually just leave it bare, no trailer or nothing. Now, if you have a lot of short strikes, you may want to put a trailer hook on there. I don't put a trailer hook because most of the places that I fish has a lot of grass, and the trailer hook will get caught up in it very easily. So those are the smaller shad lures. Now I'm going to talk about the irrichain. How do you say that? interchangeable in whatever, back and forth changeable size lures. This here's a Z-Man chatterbait. Now I got this swimming fluke junior on here, and what you can do with this is you can take this off. Now if you look at it right here while it's still on, it's a smaller profile. It's a very smaller profile. And you take that off. Now you can also fish it without a trailer. That'll give it a small profile as well. You can fish it without a trailer and give it a small profile, but you can also fish it with this trailer here that I'm putting on right now. And it's the original super swimming fluke, which gives it a lot bigger presentation. You can tell it gives it a lot bigger profile to it. Now the red it's the only swim bait I got right now that I could use, and you can use the red or you can't use the red, it don't matter. You know, you can use these chatterbaits, you could just reel them in and let them die, and then reel them back up and then let them die, and that red can help you there. You may think it's a wounded bait fish or something like that dying after they spawn. Now the next is a bait that it's a bait that I don't normally throw, but it is a bait that works. It's a swim jig. Now this here is a white and black football head jig, and I use football head jigs for swim jigs all the time. In my opinion, there's no use using more money when you can just change the trailer on a white jig and use it. Now I got the swimming fluke junior on here. You can also put this big super swimming fluke on there. It doesn't matter. That's the other interchangeable size bait. You can put that bigger super swimming fluke on there, and it gives it a lot bigger profile. But I usually fish it without the big one. I'll fish my chatterbaits with the big one and the swim jig without the big one. I think that the big thumping baits with a bigger tail, you can throw that, and if you don't get a bite, you can throw this and probably catch them. Either that or the other way around. You know, some people think that you throw silent baits for a while, don't get any bites, then you throw a loud moving bait in there and you can catch them. So it's just whatever you want to throw. Those are the interchangeable baits. Now I'm going to the bigger baits. First is the top water. This here is the Strike King Sexy Dog, which I've had in all my videos, I think. But it's this here's a very good bait. I like this bait. It's got big rattles in it. It's got some BBs and some what I call knockers, thumping kind of rattles in it. I like this bait. It's not the most weedless bait, as you can tell. It's got 9 hook points on it, but it is very good for fishing places that don't have a lot of grass, or just fishing it around the grass but have to take the grass off. If you don't mind taking the grass off the lure, go right on ahead and throw it around the grass. I've thrown it around the grass. There's this one part of a pond that I fish a lot that I'll cast it almost completely across the pond and fish it back to me, and on 99% of the time, whether if they're hitting, I'll catch one on it. So next is a square bill. This is Strike King 2.5 in chartreuse shad. You can tell there's a significant difference in the size between the two square bills. This one here is the cotton cordell. This is a Strike King. Now big baits, I like the bigger baits like this here to be silent. Now there also a bait that Strike King makes. It's called a Strike King 8.0. That's a very, very big lure. It's basically about 3 sizes up version of this. It's basically just a big version of the 2.5. It still dives to about 5-6 feet, but it's a lot bigger. Next is the soft plastic jerkbait. This is it's called a Zoom Houdini shad or a Yum Houdini shad. I don't remember what one it is. I don't remember if it's Zoom or Yum, but it's got like a flat, what I call a plate tail. It's flat. It's not like a paddle tail. I like this a lot. It's got really good twitching action to it, but one problem with it is I've tried it and I caught like a 3 pounder quite a while back when I used to catch them on swim bait. I had this as a backup bait and I missed one on swim bait. Pitched this in here and was sitting there twitching it back and forth and called him back and caught the fish. But I noticed when you cast it out and you just sit there, reel it in real slow or fast or whatever, it has no action whatsoever. Basically, just like a little white line going through the water. It does nothing when you're reeling it. So make sure if you do buy some, make sure you guys know that it's not very good swimming. You basically, the only way you can fish it is twitching it back and forth on something like a this here's a 1/0 EWG hook. I like them EWG hooks for soft plastic jerk baits because it gives it more clearance. Like you can see when that bass hits it, crushes it down, and the hook comes up when you set the hook. Next is the swim bait. This is the Zoom Super Swimming Fluke. This one here has no red on it. It's just on a 3/0 EWG belly weighted swim bait hook. This is one of my favorite hooks, and I love these type of hooks. They're a lot more weedless than you would think they are because of that weight. Because I used to fish them a lot and get the grass on the weight, but then I figured out how to make it to where they won't get any grass on it. Fish it just like that right there. If you have a lot of grass, fish it like that right there, and that grass just goes straight off of it. It's a lot more weedless than it would be if you had it rigged down here like that. I mean, you can still use this around grass like that, but I just prefer to have that weight up there by the head of the swim bait. Next, this is the final bait, is the cotton cordell rattle trap. It's the shad, bleeding shad or whatever. Now, I don't like using lipless crankbaits. I really don't. I've never caught, well, I can't say I've never caught a fish. I caught like barely even a pounder last year at the very beginning of the spring on a red lipless crankbait. So I can't say I've never caught any fish on them, but I've made a lot of casts with them and never had a bite. So I never fish them anymore. I just have them in my tackle box. But this here is a $1.96 lure. I bought this, and I bought a bunch more other rattle traps. I got a red crawl rattle trap. I got another shad pattern rattle trap, and another rattle trap. I don't remember what the color's called on it, but this is the one I would use in the shad spawn time if I was going to use some. I don't like using rattle traps at all, like I said, but some people do. Some people think they're like a staple in their tackle box. They have to use them. That's one of their favorite baits. It's not my favorite bait at all. I would, if I had to use these, I'd rather use a chatterbait or something like that over this. But that there is the lures for the shad spawn that I would use. I just seen a post from Strike King on Facebook earlier on my mom's Facebook page. It was Strike King posted a video about Kevin Van Dam. He was down on what lake is that on? I don't remember what the lake's called, but he was doing the Bassmasters Elite tournament down there, and they're on the shad spawn right now. So I thought, why not go ahead and do a shad spawn video so people in the future, when they want to watch it, like from 2 weeks from now, somebody's wanting to know how to catch fish during a shad spawn, here's a video, you know. So thanks for watching the video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Here's some pictures of the lures again. And like I said earlier, I don't know if you guys can really tell, but it is pouring down rain out there, and it's just not good fishing conditions. I wouldn't go out there, definitely. So thanks for watching.